Put your hands together for Kirby Jonas.
Hi, everybody. Hello. I get to cheat and have notes. It's really not fair, but I do. Hi, everyone. My name is Kirby Jonas. I'm 55, overweight, don't drive, don't work, don't cook, and belong to 8 different dating sites. If anyone is interested, my phone number is 619-646-4512, and I hope someone will call. My father and son, who's here, said don't put your real number down, but I did. There are four horrible things I did to 4 sweet, innocent children that I will never forget. I zipped up Claire's jacket and her neck skin got caught in the zipper. I put Shane in the shower and scalded him. I ran over Sarah's foot with my station wagon right before her skiing trip. And I served Kelly cocoa that burned her throat. If anyone needs a babysitter, my phone number is 646-4512. When I was a kid, I saw a homeless man laying on a park bench and felt very sorry for him. I got a shopping bag from our apartment and put in a blanket and some cans of food. When I saw he was sound asleep, I left the bag next to him. A few days later, something dawned on me. I forgot to add a can opener. I told my mother this story yesterday for the first time after 45 years, and her response was, "You mean you took the blanket without asking?" I grew up in Manhattan. I used to see lots of pigeons. They seemed so lonely and vulnerable to me. So I started up the Save the Pigeon Society. Needless to say, I was the president and only member. If you were there, you would have seen me feeding bread to the pigeons in my neighborhood. People would give me nasty looks. I told my mother this story 45 years later, and she said, "You mean you took all that bread without asking?" This stuff is all true, I swear to God. When I was a young stay-at-home mom, I must have been very lonely. I let the Mormons into my house many times. One day they said, "Now is your time to pray and make your decision." After getting a non-stop burning in my chest, I thought that was my answer. I got baptized in a white dress in a stranger's pool. My friend was hiding behind a tree and said it looked like a witch hunt. I felt very weird about the whole thing. I think the burning feeling was indigestion, and that's why I was a Mormon for one day. Cracked his knuckles really loudly while we watched Hogan's Heroes. I also remember this like it was yesterday. My brother had a girl over. Her name was Bambi Chivers. I was jealous. Oh, my friend. I was jealous. Hi, Stacy. And I'm running the whole thing. Her name was Bambi Chivers. I was jealous. I spit in her shoes, and the rest I don't remember. My cousin used to be a big shot at Warner Brothers Studio, and he introduced me to George Clooney. He was so darn handsome, I literally could not look at him. I stared at my feet while he shook my hand. A similar thing happened in a small grocery store in the Hamptons. Jackie Onassis was there, and everyone kept peeking at her. I did the opposite. A third time I remember not making eye contact was with my kid's middle school teacher, Barbara Noble. She had a glass eye. I went out to eat. This is lobster story number 1. I haven't written I went out to eat at a well-known steakhouse with 3 friends. They all had steak and I had lobster. I loved mine and they loved theirs. They finished before I did, as there's a lot more work required in eating a lobster. Honestly, I am rather a messy eater. said when she said when she was undressing there was a piece of lobster in her cleavage. These are going to be dating nightmares. Here I go. I have a lot of dating stories. One guy was furious I wouldn't lend him $1,500. Another impersonated a famous general and wanted me to donate to his orphanage in Ghana. A chef seemed so nice until he told me he liked to be tied to the bed. I can go on forever, but I'll tell you one more. A guy said he was very different. I said, unless you hang naked from a chandelier, it's no big deal. He said he was a Wiccan. Ugh, I wish I could put a spell on him. That one wasn't so great. I tried Match.com. I can't believe some of the stuff on there. A man in El Paso, Texas wrote in his headline, just looking for a wife, no need of a girlfriend. And here's his profile word for word. My match would have to be honest and loyal, as well as have long hair, her own job, car, and place to live. And if you don't have at least a D cup or larger, please do not reply to me. Yippee hooray, I'm not good enough for him. Two soldier boys fell in love with me, David in Afghanistan and Brett in Syria. I told them both I loved them. It was the least I could do for my country. I have been scammed so much with this online dating that I told them to send me a picture of themselves. This is all true, I swear. I told them to send me a picture of themselves sticking out their tongues while holding a piece of fruit in their left hand with their uniforms on. They both told me they couldn't find any fruit. Before I found out they were both fakes, I ordered 12 large Hanes t-shirts for David in Afghanistan. I decided to give them all to homeless people. The first was sleeping, and I threw the shirt on him and woke him up. He asked if I had a lighter color and an extra large since they shrink in the dryer. The second guy was also sleeping. I put a black shirt gently next to him so he'd stay asleep. Hard of hearing number 1. I haven't written hard of hearing number 2 yet. My son always says I'm hard of hearing. Last month I was on my way to get a mammogram. I said to my son, aren't you going to wish me luck? He said, good luck with your breasts. And I said, did you say breasts or breath? And he said, both. Years ago, an annoying alcoholic friend popped in. He'd always overstay his welcome. I gave him a glass of Pepsi, and he went to the freezer and helped himself to some ice. He had no idea those ice cubes had frozen minnows in them to feed our pet turtles. As his ice melted and he saw the minnows, he ran out of the house, never to return again. Yay! Thank you, minnows! This one nobody likes, but I don't care. In my life, I have many hard decisions to make. French fries, skinny. French fries, skinny. French fries. was so happy until he said, "This is for you when you die." It was very, very creepy. I mean, my mother just looked like she wanted to die right then. When I lived in Florida, I worked in an ice cream parlor. I was petrified if someone wanted something besides an ice cream cone. I was fired because I couldn't get the swirl right on the soft serve ice cream. And when I dipped it, the ice cream would fall into the chocolate, strawberry, or butterscotch soft get hard toppings. They lost a lot of money in ice cream on me. Their loss, they let me go. When I lived in Florida, I worked in a souvenir shop. On my day off, I went to buy a bathing suit. I tried on a lot of them and was there for a very long time. The owner was getting more and more aggravated. He kept asking me, "Are you done yet?" Then he got so mad he blurted out, "I can't have my only sales clerk stationed outside your dressing room when there are other customers in the store." I was so mad. I bought 10 bathing suits. I guess I showed him. Now, these are 6 little shorties, little things. My father would come home from a long business trip and give me a kiss, and I would say, "Kisses aren't presents, you know." I knew a woman who sewed up all the flies of her husband's pajamas. The ones I'm not getting laughs are not going to be done again. I thought I heard Tony in there. I was shocked that my father was yelling at me, but he was shocked that I became a Mormon for one day. My parents said that when I was young and on the way to the hospital for an emergency appendectomy, I kept saying, "I'm bored." This is the last of those, yeah. I dropped a fancy cupcake on the floor where my 7 dogs had been. I speared it with a fork to pick it up, took a bite, chipped a tooth, and kept on eating. And here's the last little ditty here. Oh wait, this is the last of the 6. It's probably 7 now, I don't know. I don't like when people sneeze real loud. I scream, "God bless you!" I had a neighbor who was constantly picking on me. One day I lost it and said, "It's people like you that people like me point over the edge." After that, everything changed. He'd bring me vegetables from his garden, said I looked like Meryl Streep. Gave me a card and box of cookies when I moved. Just a tip that worked for